All right, so we got the axe. The build series is pretty much done. I did go back on my small axe. I found a spot on the edge that I missed, and I reground it. And I don't know how I could show you how sharp this is. Hopefully that shows. It shows up on camera. I can't really see it that good from what I'm doing, but you know, this is right off the grinder. Just grab the piece of hardwood here. You know, this is obviously very, very sharp. And I realized that I went through this pretty quick this morning. So what I want to do is I'm going to regrind the axe that we just made the handle for. I think it came out great. It's got the boiled linseed oil on it now. It's burnt. If you didn't watch the previous videos on the build on this handle, this is white oak. Just took it out of basically a chunk of a log that was drying in my shop for several years. And it came out wonderful, but I'm going to regrind the edge really quick. Not super happy with how one side came out. I was trying to do it fast this morning. Everybody was on their way out of the house. And we'll take it outside and we'll chop some stuff with it and see how it works. We'll beat on some stuff, we'll chop some stuff. But anyway, the first thing I want to do is I want to get the edge. You know, I reground this one because I had the angle set on the grinder. This stays in the back of my truck. It's too sharp to stay in the back of my truck now, because that edge will get dinged pretty easy. But we're going to regrind this one. Pause you guys. I'll show you the edge. I might just hit it with a stone really quick to knock the burr off it because I don't want to be all Neanderthal just going right straight from the grinder, even though it can. And we'll go outside, we'll find a log and we'll see what the use is for this axe, and we'll beat on it a little bit and see how the handle holds up. So my grinder's set up here, and I don't want to confuse things. My grinder set up here is, I have a CBN wheel and a coarse wheel on my grinder. You don't need the CBN wheel. You can just do it with a standard stone. That's fine. You'll get similar results. But the CBN wheel grinds very, very cool, and it also doesn't wear out. I don't need to profile it. And it hones to, you know, pretty much a ridiculous level. You know, so I sharpen all my turning tools with the CBM wheel, and it, you know, you go right straight to turning with them, and it, you know, it's a finished edge when it comes off. This is a finished edge right now. Okay, this is ridiculously sharp. But what I did on this side was I missed the corner right there, and the bevel came out with a couple of facets because what happened was I hit the handle on the coarse wheel there. We're going to try not to do that this time. So it puts the bevel, the way that I'm doing it, puts the bevel right dead straight in the middle. If you can see that. It's a perfect apex right dead in the middle because I'm grinding it from both sides on the same angle. But we're going to go ahead and regrind this one edge And I'm going to try my best to not hit my handle on this stone. I'm actually going to throw on some gloves really quick. And like I said, this doesn't, you don't need to use a stone. You don't even need to use a rest. You could do this freehand, and I have for years done it freehand out in the shop. But since I have it, might as well use it. So let's fire it up. We're going to grind this side without. I want to do a little bit of a trial run here. So right there, I can get on the wheel without touching the handle on the course wheel right to the edge. So I want to make sure that, get my Sharpie here. Before I start this up, you can see that this resting on the rest, I can start right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a line like that on my rest. That's going to show me where to start. Because when you're doing this, you can kind of get a little bit spaced out as far as where the handle is in the wheel and everything else. So let's go ahead and fire it up. So we're going to come in, I'm going to keep my hand over by the fourth stone here. Creep my way in because I don't want to mess up my handle again. And we're going to make a full sweep through the edge. Try that again. We're going to kind of a real process there. So I have a nice bevel on this side. This side right here, the bevel's kind of messed a little bit right here. I'm not getting, because I'm trying not to hit the handle, not getting all over the edge right there. I'm going to go ahead and grind this freehand on the other side just to that edge. And this part, I don't need to, I need this more as a hand rest than anything else, but I just want to So I'm going to try to grind that other side on the coarse wheel, the same angle. See if I can clean that up a little bit. So you want to keep the edge parallel to the wheel, something like that. It's working a lot better on this side right now. Getting the bevel a lot closer. So I cleaned up that bevel pretty good. Let's just take a stone really quick, clean this up. Let you guys kind of keep an eye on me here. Just gonna grab, let's start with a really fine diamond stone. Then we'll just go to an Arkansas stone. I'm just going to take the burr off it. So there's a pretty good burr hanging over this way towards me right now. Just going to kind of going to hone off the edge. Stay with the bevel angle, and where I can see is I can see that I'm hitting on the heel and on the toe of the bevel. And just make sure I hit the whole thing. Yep. Now the burr is hanging over the other side. We're going to go ahead and tease it, try and tease it off as much as we can. I'm doing this with a diamond stone, but you don't need to do it with a diamond stone. You can do it with anything. I'll finish it with an Arkansas stone. Burr's all hanging over the other side now. Trying to tease the burr off. It'll come off in the wood really quick. Burr's starting to come off on my finger now. Do one more trip and then we'll go to a fine Arkansas stone. This is sharp enough to where you don't want to make a mistake and hit it with your finger. Burr's starting to rip off both sides now. This will come off in the wood really quick. Go to a real fine Arkansas stone. And once you get up to the spine level, you're not really removing any material. All you're doing is just basically polishing. So we're gonna doesn't really matter your angle at this point, because even if you go too steep, you're not really removing any material. All you're doing is honing the edge. Burr's all the way over the other side. You can hear how clean that sounds when I'm doing this, because the edge is nice and clean. Right now we're thinning that burr out to where it's just gonna, it's almost gone now. I almost can't feel it. We're thinning the burr out to where it's almost gonna just fall right off. Most of it's gone. Gotta be really careful not to touch this the wrong way. All right, so I'm going to pause you guys, throw on my gloves. We'll go outside and we'll check this thing out. So we'll go ahead and hit pause. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to test it out on some softwood first, and then we'll go to some hardwood. Something that would be typical of, you know, milling, where we had to take off a knot. This is a lousy spot, damn it. Hold on, I'm going to pause you again. I got to pick a better spot. All right, let's see if we can, let me get you a better view. What I would do if I was just trying to knock off some nubs on a log, rather than having to break out the chainsaw, make a notch. There was, you know, a piece of bark on there that I had to knock off. Let's hit it on some hardwood. So I got white oak here. Some white oak with some metal in it right there. Let's dig it into some white oak. Make a couple of notches in this. Knock off the center in between. Oop, I won't hit the camera. Oop. So you can see how good it hits in hardwood. See if we can find a log that we can split. I'm going to pause here for a second while I try and find something I can split. All right, so we'll split a couple of logs here, then we'll kind of culminate with trying to split that log right there. That's a big one for this little axe, but let's go ahead and just do a little bit of splitting just to prove that it does it. Get these little ones aside. Pretty good chunk right here. This is not a splitting axe, but just to prove that it does it. So I split along that knot. It's a big knot on the back side. I'll show you in a sec. Oops. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, Chester. Big knot there. So you can see it splits that. There's no way I'm going to be able to split that big one. It's just too small an axe. So just to show you that the axe works, you can see that big knot on the back side there. So yeah, that's really the crux of this build. So that's it. The axe is pretty much complete. Works great. I'll show you the edge. Beautiful edge. Wonder if we can split a chunk off that big chunk of elm right there. Try it. How do you do it from the side? Nope. Oh, almost fell down. So that's it. It's fully functional. You can see it's pretty solid. Make a good addition to you know, my stuff around the mill. Appreciate the watch. Hard Solutions out.